Hello. Hoping you can hear me. Okay, I seem to be connected to my AirPods that you can't actually see, but they're supposed to make the sound quality for you all better. I'm hopping online today to talk about shame and being ashamed and kind of like where that comes from. I know in my life I have certainly felt a lot of shame for a lot of crazy things. I really have some vivid memories from like experiences in childhood that at the time felt big and profound, and like when you look back at them in a rearview mirror really weren't the end of the world, but I still remember them to this day, which is kind of insane. For example, I think the very first time I ever felt shame was when I was about 5 years old, and I was at a checkup at the doctor's, and the doctor told my mother that I was overweight and I needed basically to immediately go on a diet. And he told her to cut out peanut butter and cheese and sweets, all the things that I loved. And I think it's the first time I actually felt in my body like something was wrong, like I was flawed. Um, and I carried that with me for like a stupid long time. Other examples include I remember this time where I went to the circus with my mom and my brother, and he was probably 3 or 4, so I was probably 10 or 11, and he wanted to talk to a clown, and the clown was greeting people as they came into the auditorium. This was at the Bangor Auditorium. And I held his little hand down every single step of all of those creaky wooden bleachers. And then just as we got to the clown, he literally walked away. And I remember believing that that was because of me, thinking that I had done something wrong, that I wasn't good enough. He was probably tired, or he was probably just going to go, talk to someone else. Maybe he never saw us coming. I don't know. But that feeling of shame has resonated with me. And maybe not, maybe I don't like clowns much either. And then, there are bigger things, right? Like when I got divorced, when my husband didn't want to be married to me anymore, I felt completely ashamed and flawed and unworthy. So the consequences of shame are: one, unworthiness. We don't think we're good enough. And two, fear. Like we're afraid to show up. We're afraid of what other people will think. We're afraid to shine. We're afraid to try new things. And I see this a lot with my clients, the people I work with. They're afraid sometimes. And I really believe it is because at the core, there's some sort of shame or unworthiness. And so what I want to offer is to share this exercise that I learned recently from my business coach. I'm in a mastermind with other life coaches, and we all have a master coach who teaches us things, and we have a weekly group call. And so this topic came up for one of the women in the group, and our coach offered this 4-step process. My coach is Stacy Smith. This is her work that I'm going to be sharing with you. And it's simple in that there's only 4 things to do, but it takes work, right? You kind of have to slug through it in order to get some insights. But the first step, the first thing to do is to write down everything that you feel shame about. It could be little examples like clowns and doctors. It could be big things like marriage, relationships, things that you've done, things that you know you've done, maybe no one else knows that you've done. So get them all out of your head and get them all on paper. Step 2 is to write down everything you think other people would say about those things, or think about you because of them. Like what do you think other people would be thinking about all those things you're ashamed about? The third step is to just decide, yup, they're all true. Every single one of them. All those things that I've done, that I've thought about, that other people, all the thoughts that they're thinking about, yeah, absolutely true. They're just true. Whether they are or not, just decide they're true. And then the most valuable step, step 4, is to figure out how to love yourself anyway. Ooh, self-love is a big, big journey. Certainly a journey that I have been on for a long time. Love yourself anyway. And this isn't easy, but I have 100% belief that anybody can do this. All of us have done this. I mean, all of us have felt this way, and all of us can do this work.